Okay, this time we're going to take a look at the Ruger SR9E. This actually comes with one magazine, but it holds 17 rounds instead of 15 on the gun we just took a look at. So again, this is the Ruger SR9E. It's got a 4-inch barrel as well, so 9mm. Let's see how it shoots.
Okay, so the Ruger SR9E, this is Ruger's, I'm going to say, value model. They have they've done a couple of things machining wise to reduce the cost on this gun. As compared to the SR9, I don't think reliability wise that they've done anything to cut corners on the reliability. It seems to be a really good gun. Again, it comes with one 17-round magazine instead of two. That was part of the cost savings. It also comes in a cardboard box, so you don't get a nice plastic carry box. But I'm gonna make the statement that I think that for the price, this is one of the best guns that you could buy for the price. So you can pick this gun up for under $400, $350, $370, somewhere in that range. And maybe even cheaper if you find it on sale. And the other thing about this gun, so it does have a safety, and it is an ambidextrous safety on both sides. A lot of people don't like that on a striker fire pistol, but this trigger is very light and there's no take up on this trigger. This is very close to a single action trigger. So you may need the safety if you were carrying this with one in the chamber, and it is really easy to flip off. It's small, a small little safety on there, but it's very easy to, well, it was very easy to take off. Okay, so another thing, I'll show you that trigger real quick. Again, you got a safety on the trigger, but there's no take up. You can see I'm right on the wall right there as soon as I hit the trigger. And then we'll look at the reset. Pretty nice, a little bit of reset, but not bad at all. Really is a great trigger. So let's take a look at how it shoots.
So again, we're shooting the Ruger SR9E 9mm. Ready?
Ready.
Clear.
Clear. Let's take a look.
Yeah. There are my first two shots. These two are further away. And those two are tight group.
Top of each other. You actually hit that clay pigeon on the first shot. It put a perfect hole right through it and didn't shatter it.
Are you serious?
And then you shattered it on the second shot.
Okay, well that should count. So I liked it. Couple things I will say about the Ruger real quick, if we could. It is harder to pull this slide back. It's not as hard as some guns, but it's harder than a lot of 9mm. And it could be the way in which I place my hand. I do it the same on all guns. And this gun, it grabs it right there. Right on the safety, actually, is where it grabs my hand. You can see the red mark. And it grabs my fingers every time. So I have to be really careful and think about it when I'm pulling this one back. And it is harder than most of the other 9s. For my hand, it's a little bit boxy feeling. I don't have to rotate my hand forward much at all, maybe slightly more than most other 9mm. I feel like it's a little wider in here. than a lot of the grips. And again, this one I forgot to mention earlier, it just has the standard 3 white dot sights. However, these are steel instead of plastic like a lot of them, so that's a nice feature. All in all, I really like the trigger. I actually, when I was shooting the clay, I don't know if you noticed, but I tried to start pulling it back, but I don't know the right term, it hadn't gotten that
reset.
Yes, and I've never once experienced that with any gun ever before in 8-9 years of shooting. But I just experienced that with this when I was shooting at the disc, so that was odd and surprising to me. But obviously I knew what it was right away. Really good gun, especially for the price that Brad mentioned.
Same thing. See, I put a hole right through the clay pigeon there in the center, and it didn't break.
I see.
Clear?
Clear.
Let's take a look. So I did the same thing that Karen did on my first 2 shots, and I think it's because we were just shooting the Glock. So here's my first 2. We were just shooting the Glock, and the reset on the trigger on the Glock is shorter. And I tried to do 2 quick shots on the first volley there, and I didn't get a reset. So I squeezed, nothing happened. I had to let the trigger all the way out. There's my second 2, and there's my third 2, and then the clay pigeon. So the Ruger SR9E, one thing that we forgot to mention is definitely have a tighter spring on the magazine. I have no problem loading it by hand. To get the 17th one in there, it can be pretty tough. A speed loader definitely would help. Karen needs a speed loader on this magazine. She can't do it by hand. It is pretty tight. And then the other thing that I failed to mention to Karen, because she's having problems with the grip, and of course you have interchangeable back straps. So it's not interchangeable. What it is you can flip it around 180 degrees, and I have it set for large hands, so you've got kind of the rounded back strap. If you flip it around, it flattens out, and you don't have as much as wide of a grip on it. It does have a pin in here that you need a punch to push it out, to flip this around and to change it. But all in all, the Ruger SR9E, like I said, it's their value pistol, under $400, and it's a great shooting gun. I really think, honestly, if you're out there looking for a 4-inch barrel 9mm plinking gun, carry gun, home defense, I would have no problem using that for any of this. This is a phenomenal gun, and for the price, I mean, it's even better.